thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Coming up tonight is that nurse who spoke out on the state of the Princess Margaret Hospital still on suspension. We get the answer. The Nassau Cruise Port speaking out after the taxi union protested against the setup at the Prince George Wharf. And another union leader breaking her silence. It's all coming up tonight. Also later tonight in the show, major Junkanoo groups are now throwing their support behind the NJC, saying they will go to bay. We will talk about how the saga of Junkanoo played out over the last year and a half plus. It's all straight ahead this evening. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. This is Beyond the Headlines. Welcome to tonight's show. Well, another union leader is speaking and breaking her silence tonight on a controversial matter that has at its center a veteran nurse whose decision to speak on the plight of the healthcare workers at the Princess Margaret Hospital was met with varying views and reaction. The matter of the nurse speaking out is a divisive one. Nurses Union President Muriel Lightbourne is quite vocal, and tonight she joins me here on tonight's show. It's good to have you here, Madam President. Good evening to you. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. You today were really not shy about scolding the present and former Minister of Health of speaking out and trying to make this a political sort of football and a matter to score political points on.
Good evening, good night, Shanique. And today, yes, I had to. When I looked at, since the incident with the nurse being suspended, it's been like every political figure, I believe, from every aspect of society trying to weigh in and saying what they have to say. And I think it was so disingenuous of a lot of them and the comments that was being made. Especially when I was really upset when I heard the former Minister of Health, when he speak out about, the nurse was very articulate, she was this, she was that.
Which Dr. Sands?
Dr. Sands. Mm-hmm. He spoke on how the nurse was so articulate, she was this, she was that, and everything else, right? But these concerns, Shanique, didn't just happen overnight. These concerns was happening a long time ago. Dr. Sands was a minister of health, the former minister of health. And just in the last cabinet, it was with the Ingram administration. Okay, Rodents was in the hospital then.
Well, the Ingram administration, yes, but that was
the Minnis administration.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Rodents was in the hospital then. The hospital was leaking then. And it just shows that over the years, because they failed to maintain our healthcare system, it got eroded, it got broke down. Every crack and crevice, a rodent get to be able to crawl and they can get in.
It really
and if you get one in, you know you can have a million afterwards.
Absolutely. It really is in a deplorable state. You also thought it quite insulting that Dr. Darville decided he was going to step in and say, don't suspend this nurse. She doesn't deserve to be suspended.
Shanique, when I read that, I wanted a flat line. I say, oh no, Dr. Darville did not go there. He did not go there. And why I said that he did not go there, Dr. Darville is the Minister of Health and Wellness. Under the Department of Public Health, our nurses suffer a lot of injustice. First of all, our industrial agreement states that there's supposed to be a disciplinary committee if there is something a nurse or anybody else has to go into, there's an infraction, they have to go before this committee. The policy says, the industrial agreement says, you have this this discipline committee, which the Department of Health don't have, first of all. So when the nurses in the Department of Health does something that offends somebody else, they can go before these people. HR is deplorable when it comes to the Department of Public Health. You can't even go into one of those, the HR manager who's responsible for nursing. You can't go into her office unless you walking in there. You got to put on your whole armor.
The whole armor. If you all need me to tell you about that armor, I certainly can. So this nurse had no other way than what she thought at that moment, which was to pick up her phone and do a video. You're trying to say for her to go through HR.
I'm talking about Dr. Dowell comments, because I'm talking about the nurses that work in Department of Public Health right under her. That nurse is a PHA nurse. At least PHA have a policy and procedure that she can go through, right? Now, while all of us knows that what she would have said was correct.
Of course it's true.
Right?
Yeah.
It's true.
That's true.
The method in which she did it is what was in questioning. And for me, as the nurses president, when I would have gone in there with her, if I had gone in there, what had happened was she called the union office, and my understanding from her, she called the union office, the Secretary General answered that call, and she went in with them. Now, I knew about this matter the following Tuesday. This happened on that Thursday the 30th, the 31st. That Tuesday, the Secretary General came and she brought me the file and she said, oh, I'm bringing you this. This is what has happened with the nurse in the matter with the suspension. My take is, Shanique, she was suspended for 10 days for investigative purposes. Mm-hmm. What is there to investigate, Shanique, when there is the video? She has admitted to doing the video and everything else. So what do we have to investigate? I feel like because there's a shortage of staff in the hospital, they could have sat down with her and say, okay, this is what you did. You breached the policy, whether she knew it or not. She breached the policy. Find out what was going on with her. I asked her, I say, tell me what was going on with you. She was overwhelmed. Persons coming to her and telling her, yes, she should have gone to and complaining about what is going on the ward. Because remember now, she is in a senior position. So persons are coming to her, complaining to her, telling her, this going on, the next thing going on. But her course of action, she could have gone to her supervisor. She could have come to the union, because if she had come to the union, she would have known that we were dealing with this matter. And then, if anything else, we could have taken that stand as the union, because they can't do nothing to me.
They can't do nothing to the union.
Right? And so she left herself out there.
She left herself
open.
So,
and still, like I say, even considering the fact that she is a 44-year veteran, she's an excellent nurse, all of those things, the video was there. You don't need to do no more investigation. Sit down, have a conversation, and decide what is what.
The issue is with, and you're all talking about the PHA and the public system. Who knows the difference, right? Because that's a part of what the reason is right now at PMH. What I'm saying though, when she went to do this video and was suspended by the PHA?
She was suspended by PHA. And that's why it floored me when Dr. Dowell came in and said, I feel that this is unjust. And then he ran on with something, but the policy of PHA.
So he and Dr. Sands were just obviously just playing games, because everybody knows the state of and including them, of the Princess, whether or not she was eloquent or not.
Yes.
The fact is, she spoke out wrongly, and we know the state of the Princess Margaret Hospital. Let's talk about the state of Princess Margaret Hospital. What is it that drove that nurse a couple of weeks ago to do that video that went viral last week?
Ms. Miller, the state of Princess Margaret Hospital is simply as she stated. I say it run down. Sometimes when I pull into the yard and I'm like, I can't believe this is the hospital. Sometimes I really cannot believe it. We've had nurses complain when there was the swipe clock problem. You know, we have to swipe in, they have to swipe in when they go into work. Sometimes there were times when the clocks weren't working and they had to go back in the back and these places, which is just deplorable to swipe in to get to work. A lot of things that is going wrong there. There's lack of supplies, all of these things. Yeah, everybody know the rodent problem, but we need, there's also, there was some leaking, some wards that were leaking. I know that there were times when I would have walked around, and nurses would have called me, and I walked around, and I saw the buckets catching water. I saw the things on the floor that stop people from slipping and sliding. But what I did, I took that matter to PHA, and in some instances, those things were resolved. So I'm saying there's a way to do things still.
Yes.
And still, I could piggyback and say, considering everything else, I know she was overwhelmed. I spoke to her. She said she was overwhelmed, and she just felt that that was a way out. My take is this. Score the nurse. You send the nurse home for 10 days to investigate what? Back to that. What are you investigating?
So you were thinking, you were almost agreeing with Dr. Darvel then.
No, I'm not saying that it was unjust, like he said. What I'm saying is PHA has their policy, and they could suspend her based on the policy.
Right.
But I'm saying that the fact that she was suspended, to say that I'm suspending you for investigative purposes, what do you have to investigate when you have the evidence right here?
It's the silliness of the public service.
So that's what I'm saying. My issue with Dr. Darvel is this. I had to represent nurses in the Department of Public Health, where these nurses were sent home based on feelings. They were sent home based on feelings, Shanique. When I would have approached those persons, they would have turned around, instead of make their wrong right. That's what they did. They sent them show cause letters to say, tell me why you should not be dismissed. What you talking about, Dr. Darvel? I sat in the office in a meeting with Dr. Darvel, not on one occasion, on 2 occasions, more than 3 times I sat with Dr. Darvel. I said, Dr. Darvel, we have to fix this. He said nothing. On one instance, the nurse was home, must be 3 months waiting on one letter from HR to send her back to work. One letter, Shanique. I went to Dr. Darvel. You know what Dr. Darvel asked me? Is she still getting paid? I said, yes. So what that means, then at least she getting paid. What kind of stupidness is that? That is a bunch of foolishness. And then you could cross the line and say, I think that suspension was unjust. When PHA followed their policies, you ain't following yours.
And with something that was blatant. Again, I guess you could get away with whatever it is, depending on what season it is, eh?
I guess, silly season.
Let's talk about, you also raised concern today about the number of nurses that are being attracted elsewhere.
Yes.
And leaving the public healthcare system for better opportunities, or perhaps just leaving. I mean, like this nurse, clearly frustrated. And not that she was right. I said from last week, even her union could have been her voice, as you all have been. But let's just talk about the nurses who are leaving, whether for attractive deals elsewhere or just leaving.
Nurses are leaving, Shanique, some of them, they're leaving because they're just disappointed so much in the system. We have a problem with promotion exercises. Nurses are leaving because, you work in the system for so many years and everything, and you can't get one promotion. You could imagine a nurse retiring from the system and ain't had one promotion. Could you imagine that? You could imagine the nurse working and these are senior nurses, and these same nurses who they train and they mentor, and they have to write off while these nurses are in training, you now have to address them as, yes, ma'am, sister.
But what is the issue? Are those ones who they are training and signing on for, are they more qualified?
The point about the matter is that these younger nurses, they are more eager. They're going off to school or they're doing their courses online, and so they're upgrading.
What you want, though?
What I want is this, Shanique. While we have an industrial agreement that states that the nurse could be promotion based on 9, 10 things. One is qualifications or experience. Qualification and experience. That nurse may have the qualification, she don't have the experience. You promote her.
Well, the two must go on hand. Not because you have a master's degree and someone who's been working there for decades and really, is meticulous at her job, means that you should be promoted over that person, especially if you're lacking the experience.
And so, Shanique, you have these issues. I've had a nurse overstep for promotion. She was senior in years, and they needed a senior nurse in another place, and they're saying, we're sending her because she's senior, but you overstep her for promotion and you give it to a junior staff because the junior staff has the quote-unquote qualification. But you're using her because of her years of experience to go where you need to fill this void.
Still without the title.
Tell me, Shanique, we have to make things make sense.
Well, it doesn't. It doesn't. Now, I know your position on the new hospital. I feel this that hospital is needed based on everything you've said and not said tonight. That hospital is needed to be efficiently run and staffed, yes, but to take some burden off of Princess Margaret so that then the officials turn around and begin fixing the fixable areas of Princess Margaret Hospital.
But the new hospital, how much beds? I don't remember how much beds they say that new hospital have. That new hospital is being designed for maternity.
I'm sure they're going to have to revisit that.
And they need to.
They're going to have to revisit that. That cannot.
You have a hospital that's overrun. You have a hospital that is not even capable now of the capacity of trafficking that is going through. You have accident emergency, which is a unit that people come in and they go elsewhere. That is now a ward. Accident emergency is just like a ward because you have patients where there's no beds, and so they are being nursed. They are admitted, but they are accident and emergency.
Again, I imagine a specialty hospital is needed. However, that in terms of right now to make that a sole maternity,
right.
It has to be revisited.
No, that has to be.
Perhaps an area of it,
yes.
but it cannot be. It has to be able to absorb more.
Yes.
Certainly to get some of that burden off of PMH and then revisit PMH to see what can be salvaged. Listen, we could talk all because we really there's a lot, and it's important what this nurses union president is saying because the public healthcare system is limping along, and it absolutely needs to be mended and properly. No quick fixes here and there, properly done.
Exactly.
I thank you very much, President of the Bahamas Nurses Union, Muriel Lightbourne, speaking on a number of issues here on the show tonight. Thank you for joining me.
You're welcome.
Beyond the Headlines is back right after this.
Crossing the Sidney Poitier Bridge just got easier. Now you can pay your bridge tolls using debit or credit cards.
No more searching for cash.
Just tap and go. Quick, secure, and easy.
Modern convenience, same trusted service from the Bridge Authority.
As a resident of Golden Isles for the past 22 years, I've lived there, served as the chairman for the constituency for the past 11 years. I know the needs, I know the infrastructure needs, I know the needs that the people in Golden Isles need. I drive through there every day. Some of the needs is the healthcare system, the environment, We're looking at it safety in terms of the police presence being in the constituency on a daily basis. And so I'm excited about it. I'm excited to get Golden Isles up and running and making sure that it's be the best constituency in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. My name is Brian Berkeley Brown from the great constituency of Golden Isles. I'm asking that you lend me a vote so I could work for you.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
Ever feel like you're missing your own life because you're constantly running off to the bathroom? Do bladder leaks or pelvic discomfort have you up at night and affect your confidence in everyday life? Those days are over. At Frequency Vitality Center, we offer a solution. Completely painless, fully clothed with no downtime. Perfect for men and women of any age, we help strengthen the pelvic floor muscles while you sit comfortably, improving bladder control, decreasing night waking, and much more. Strengthen your foundation and restore your confidence.
Running out of space? We've got room for that. Welcome to Skyline Storage, your trusted self-storage solution. Skyline Storage offers units from 5x10 to 10x30, climate controlled or standard dry. Perfect for home or business. Located in Westfield Commerce Park, Western New Providence. Your belongings stay safe with gated access and 24/7 surveillance starting at $175 a month. Reserve, pay, and move in online. No phone calls, no paperwork. Visit SkylineStorage.com. Skyline Storage. Storage made simple.
When it comes to working at height, there is no room for error. You need certified professionals, reliable systems, proven results. That's where NWC Bahamas comes in. We're the largest fire protection service provider in the Bahamas, trusted by contractors, building managers, and developers from Grand Bahama to Inagua. From high-rise window cleaning and facade maintenance to fire protection system design, training, and certification. Our team of highly trained and internationally certified technicians delivers expert service to the highest international standards. We work faster, safer, and more efficiently with minimal disruption to your operations. Call the team that's certified, insured, and built for heights. Visit nasawindowcleanerslimited.com or call us now at 431-4859. NWC Bahamas. We don't just rise to the challenge, we protect it.
Beyond the Headlines is now introducing powerful TV advertising opportunities made just for you. Choose our television ad package, 20 30-second ads for $2,000 or 20 60-second ads for $2,500 plus VAT. Prefer flexibility? Go a la carte. Just $150 for a 30-second ad or $200 for a 60-second ad. Step into the spotlight with our interview package. 1 15-minute interview for $500 or 4 for $15 per month. Or bring Beyond the Headlines directly to you with our live on location package, only $2,600 plus VAT. For more information, contact our sales agent at 242-466-6173.
Segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you all tuned in this evening. I'm going to get straight into this discussion because I really want responses from the Hot Topics panelists. As you heard in the interview with Madam President, Bahamas Nurses Union President Muriel Lightbourne, that the nurse remained suspended. She had, she had a 10-day suspension, as I understood it, for going against PHA's sort of the measures in place to be able to file complaints and speak and get those attended to. The Nurses Union President said, listen, those were being attended to. PHA was already on top of a number of the issues there, including some of those working conditions. But PMH, as we all know, is no easy fix. It didn't just happen yesterday or last week or last month. And so that is a part of what made the Nurses Union President angry, because she said, listen, don't grandstand or try to score any point, Dr. Sands, Dr. Darville, over this matter. Just fix it. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. Beyond the Headlines contributors, Leslie Miller, Garth Rosborough, and Howard Johnson. Good evening, gentlemen, to all of you.
Good evening, my dear. Good evening, Bahamas.
Good night to all. Good night.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, colleagues. Good evening, Bahamas.
Hi to you, Howard. Gentlemen, your thoughts on a lot of what the Nurses Union president had to say, and the fact that, you know, she slapped up all around, very, very middle of the road in how she sees whether the suspension, the state of the healthcare system, in particular Princess Margaret Hospital, and of course her members, which are the nurses.
Well, it's amazing, Shanique, based on where we are now, presently, with a by-election looming. This case is now being made knowing that it will get national attention, especially after we've had so many complaints in the past for over a decade now as to the deplorable conditions there at the Princess Margaret Hospital and in the Public Hospital Authority. There is a process, however, through Human Resources where one can make a complaint. I do understand that in our country, oftentimes, people who are responsible for these departments can often make it difficult for people who want to make that complaint. However, in this situation, patience is what is necessary. You have to go through the right channels to ensure that there is order in the total organization. Failure to do so means there's going to be mayhem, there's going to be chaos that will further now go ahead and complicate the working conditions, because truthfully, once you start making this public type of outcry, more people will add to that. It doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help the patients. It doesn't help the staff. It doesn't help the image of the institution. Yes, these conditions exist. They were there during the pandemic. If you recall, Shanique Miller, there were people living outside in tents during the pandemic due to the lack of any accommodation for such people and the population necessary for medical assistance. And so I will continue to ask those who are employed by any of the medical facilities here in our country to please exercise some patience. I know it's difficult, but you are a trained professional, and trained professionals know how to follow instructions.
Shanique, I really want to say a special thank you to our healthcare workers for everything that they do. I know they operate under difficult conditions. I've been to that hospital many times with relatives, and also about 9 years ago with my youngest son, who was a toddler at the time. And the conditions were deplorable, but the service was excellent. And those nurses that attended to my relatives, when I went there, their customer service was excellent, and they did their jobs in a professional manner. So I just want to say thank you to those healthcare workers. But a word of caution as well for healthcare workers and public sector workers in general, especially during this time, like God said, right? Because what's going to happen is things are going to be magnified because of the political season. So whether someone is coming forward because they genuinely care about what's going on in their workplace, or they are making a political gesture, so to speak, you have to be very careful. Exhaust every avenue of appeal by utilizing the reporting channels, no matter how difficult it may be, like God said. You start with your immediate supervisor and you document, email them, request the meeting, have the meeting, write your notes, make sure you document everything all the way up to your minister. You also contact your union people to let them know what's going on. If you feel so inclined that to breach the policy that is in place to govern your behavior by going on social media, just make sure that you've covered every other avenue of appeal before you do that, because there are going to be consequences. I don't know what the social media policy is, and the last thing I'm going to say, I don't know what that exact policy states in terms of the disciplinary action that could have been taken against that nurse. But what I do know as a former HR professional is that when you go through the progressive discipline system, it starts with a verbal warning and it ends with outright termination. And sometimes termination starts at the beginning, depending on the egregious nature of what you've done, the violation committed. In this situation, though, facing situations like this in my HR professional career, the 10-day suspension seems to be very excessive. Now, like I say, my disclaimer is I don't know the policy in the Bahamas, but
Go ahead, Leslie.
Oh, I was waiting on him. You know, I've looked at this situation very closely. First of all, I love the Princess Margaret Hospital. I've never been in a doctor's hospital in my life. The main time, my children would never go there. But I love them because they always do a magnificent job. The doctors, the nurses, you know, because they know the pot cake, but their
I would
services
say,
as good
using
as
my
any in
hat
this
in
country.
HR, that it
But I was really taken aback when I read the article, and the lady has been in that profession now for 42 years.
44.
She's been frustrated probably for half of that 42 years.
Or more
I
than
don't know
that.
what the policy is. The policy is what it is. But she didn't lie on anybody. She took pictures and showed the facts. Remember now, that hospital, that new section supposed to be finished, what, 3-4 years ago? Under the F&M. And it just opened, not fully yet, just a couple of months ago. I don't know what took so long, but after a while you get so frustrated if you have a love for your patients and the people who come there. The lady simply she just reached the end of her line, and she said, listen, let me bring this to the attention of those who can see. And she sent it out. Maybe it's unfortunate that she did so. And the policy can't be so stringent that a Bahamian has a God-given right. If they don't do any damage to what was being done, she simply exhibit the truth. All of us know that the hospital have problems, okay? And she only stated her frustration that here's what it is, and I don't think she should have been suspended for no 2 weeks. For what? For what? The minister said he came in and he sorted out. She should not have been suspended. Why is she still suspended today? This lady was given 42 years of her life for the service of the Bahamians and else and other persons in this country. I don't think that's fair on a young lady who's given all her life to service to the people of this country.
So Leslie,
I just don't agree with it, period.
Leslie,
I'll make that clear.
You who are the owner of
Yeah.
a number of businesses, you have no issue tonight. Well, tomorrow, if any of your businesses that someone goes out and talk about you and what an unscrupulous, unfair, whatever else boss you are, and they go and they put that out there. And they ain't going to know HR first. They didn't come to you to say, Mr. Miller, can I have a word? None of the above. This is what they did.
But you need to appreciate,
No, talk sense. And they ain't lying. Let's go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
so they have done this now. And so therefore it opens the door for us to say, you know what, he or she is right. Let's just talk about Leslie Miller as a
every public institution in this country are owned by the people of the Bahamas, you know.
Come on, Leslie, come on.
Who owns the public treasury? That's why it says public.
The point
Who
is,
owns the
though,
hospital?
the point
The
is
people
there
are
are
the ones.
rules and guidelines. I was once in a
I
system.
accept that. I
was
know what
once
the
in a
rules are.
system that was very structured.
But I think the punishment was too stringent
from the first.
for a person who was
It isn't.
given a life
Leslie, what
sentence.
do you want? You want people to go
That's what I'm
wild?
saying.
Leslie, what do you want?
Mr. Miller, Shanique Miller, here's your issue. You have a situation where you're going on social media. Social media today, TikTok and all the other formats are there, whatever they're called. Once that gets out there, it goes into public domain.
But everything is on social media today.
Not only nationally,
Okay,
Mr.
don't
Miller.
make some of it- don't make all of it right.
Not only nationally,
Everything.
Mr. Miller. Not only nationally, it's going on there internationally.
Fine. I accept that.
Here's what
Therefore, fix it.
Here's what I'm saying
Fix
to you,
what?
Mr. Miller.
Social media?
Fix the damn problem.
Mr. Miller.
Leslie,
Miller.
I believe if
Fix it.
if
Mr. Miller.
every administration from Pindling to now
Yeah,
could have
fix
fixed
it.
PMH,
Fix it.
they would have done it.
Mr. Miller. Fix it.
Understand. One
Here's-
second.
here's
90 more than 90% of PMH, PHA, whatever budget goes to salary, overtime,
Yes.
and other little things to
Yes.
try and fix.
Yes.
Tell me where the room is to fix it.
The people didn't create the problem.
Madam President, am I wrong or right?
The doctors
Where's
and
where
nurses
does the
didn't bring the
government have
problem,
to
you know.
fix it? So what any government must do
Can I please-
is
Fix it.
what any government
Damn
must
it,
do
fix
is
it.
partner
You in charge.
with private
It is
investors
your
who are willing
responsibility
to
to
this
fix it.
day to fix certain parts of the hospital, to create you saw about specialty hospitals, well, they are willing and waiting. Well, guess what? You're going to have to somehow do those PPPs.
Sands was there. Sands didn't fix it.
He could not.
Fix it.
Dr. Sands could not. Let's be
so
fair.
somebody else in the seat, now you fix it.
No, Dr.
But you really can't fix it.
Dr. Davo
It can't
cannot
be
fix
fixed.
it. Let's be
No,
real.
listen, can I,
Go
can,
ahead, Carl.
can I
Go
just
ahead.
simply share this with you all?
It ain't as easy as you saying it. Dr.
No,
Davo
here-
can do it. Dr. Sands can't do it.
Fix it.
Here is the issue, folks. I'm
Go
trying
ahead.
to be patient. Here's the issue. It's almost similar to that of a family that has a quarrel in their home. There's certain news that just doesn't exit your house. And when you put that on a public domain internationally, you're already getting a bad rep for the whole idea of being a violent nation. Now, when tourists hear
But
that
she
your
didn't do anything
hospital,
violently.
my
What did she do
friend,
violently?
once again, there is a mechanism in place to take care of this issue. In terms of public relations, public media, there are policies,
Okay.
not only to protect the staff, not only to protect
Okay.
those people who are patients,
Fine.
it also protects our nation.
Okay.
Because when people look at the Bahamas and they hear that your one and only public hospital is crap, and they can get all of the footage, the video, the complaints, and everything else, it is not a good...
Fine.
It's not a good image for the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
All right.
Yes, we do need to fix it. We all agree with that. And I am all for one Mr. Miller, who, as we complain, we probably need to set some volunteer system in place where we can get people from BTVI, whether it be electricians, plumbers, air conditioning, whatever our strengths are, to have a volunteer force to go in there and assist Princess Margaret Hospital and the authority. Because why? It's just simple to us now. We do not have sufficient force to get it done. Do you volunteer? I would volunteer. Who else would volunteer? Let's get these people, let's put them to work, let us fix our problem, but we do not need the world to see and hear everything that is wrong with our public health
This ain't
system.
no worldly problem.
It's
Please,
out in the
get
world.
rid.
It's out in the
Get
world
rid.
on
so
media.
this woman should be ostracized, criticized, right? Kicked
We
out
have to
of the
discourage this
hospital
behavior,
for
Mr.
what?
Miller. We have to discourage
It's a
the
problem. Fix
It's
the problem.
It's a discouragement of the behavior,
Fix
Mr.
the
Miller.
problem.
When you misbehave in the House of Assembly, we kick you out. We escort you out with the officer in charge, So it's the same
so her
discipline.
crime was tantamount to
Mr.
that?
Miller,
I said her
Mr.
crime was tantamount to
Miller,
that.
discipline, sir.
What she did?
Discipline.
What
Just
she did?
discipline. Shanique, your show. My apologies, but discipline.
Heartbreaking grief for the family of a young prison officer whose life was cut short just as his career was starting. Loved ones are now coming to terms with the tragic loss, describing his murder as a devastating blow to both their family and the wider law enforcement community. We get this story from Linton Ritchie Jr. and then we come back and discuss it.
A young guy, man.
They were waiting for someone to come out and say something. When she was talking on the phone, she was like, they was calling her in this room and she's praying it's not what she's thinking.
Family members of 23-year-old Ashantino Johnson now coping with heartbreak they hope to never experience again just a decade after Johnson's younger brother passed away. Johnson's sister, Correction Sergeant Clindina Johnson-Smith, revealing to Eyewitness News that a week before her brother was savagely killed in that bloody nightclub brawl where two of his squad mates were also injured, they happened to cross paths at a bamboo shack, but she never imagined it would be their final interaction.
We end up collectively seeing each other and just talking and, just hailing up each other and reminiscing and talking about some stuff.
The violent act, which was caught on camera by bystanders, circulated across social media. Family members emphasizing that while it provided some level of understanding, it only shattered their hearts more to see their brother so vulnerable.
It was hard to watch it, but I still was able to. Seeing him on the ground and persons trying to do CPR, it was unexplainable.
Johnson, who was approaching his 1-year anniversary as a correctional officer, simply was a ray of light according to his squad mates, the grieving sister noting he left a significant impression on everyone he ever encountered.
Within the institution and even being in different organizations, like the Rangers he was in when he was in high school, Boys Brigades.
Beyond the Headlines is going to come back and discuss this story right after this break. Stay
Fly fishing for me is kind of a way of life. My father was one of the pioneers that started the fly fishing industry.
I grew up around the industry, but it was mostly spin fishing until the invention of the fly. that changed the whole fly fishing industry as we know it today.
Well, fly fishing, in my opinion, is an art form that subscribes to artificially inducing a fish to take a lure.
It's fishing, but it's more like hunting than anything else.
So it is hunting, one aspect of it is, and the second of it is creating a lure that you are imitating that is of the environment.
You're actually stimulating the bite by them visually seeing the actual lure that you're sending to them.
Crazy Charlie is the fly that revolutionized, as we know, the saltwater fly fishing industry. It was invented by my father. He recalls seeing the bonefish chasing a little bait fish called a minnow. He took a couple chicken feathers and some bead eyes of a military tag, and that was the beginning of the advancement of saltwater fly fishing industry on the flats as we know it today. The importance of that fly allow you to be able to fish for bonefish in various depths of water.
Captain Rupalit, my dad, who's also a pioneer in the industry, his fly was called the gotcha fly, and it emulates two things: the minnows, which is a small bait fish, and also a shrimp pattern. See, there's so many legends that I'm now standing on. Percy Dowell, Ivan Nemo, who would have passed, Raymond Mackey, you've got Sidney Nemore, Carl Moxie. These guys were filled with knowledge. They were self-imposed scientists. They saw these fish act in a certain way, and they know how to target them on specific times. I feel extremely proud to carry the baton on, knowing that I can actually teach other youngsters how to carry the mantra, and they themselves can pass it on to other generations.
Are you ready, Bahamas? Get up, get moving, and join us at IL Fit Fest. Saturday, November 15th at the University of the Bahamas Playing Field. From 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. We're talking a variety of fitness vendors, free health screenings, and $10,000 in giveaways. And for the kids, we have a kids zone. And entry is absolutely free. Don't miss the IL Fit Fest.
The race to 2026 is heating up, and the nation's voice is louder than ever. Here on Beyond the Headlines, we're checking the mood, the momentum, and the message of the people. I'm Shanique Miller. Each week, we're taking the temperature of the electorate to see what's really driving the nation. Who's connecting? Who's cooling off? What issues are heating up ahead of 2026? This is Temperature Check 2026, where journalism meets the nation's heartbeat.
Beyond the Headlines is now introducing powerful TV advertising opportunities made just for you. Choose our television ad package, 20 30-second ads for $2,000 or 20 60-second ads for $2,500 plus VAT. Prefer flexibility? Go a la carte. Just $150 for a 30-second ad or $200 for a 60-second ad. Step into the spotlight with our interview package. One 15-minute interview for $500 or 4 for $15 per month. Or bring Beyond the Headlines directly to you with our live on location package, only $2,600 plus VAT. For more information, contact our sales agent at 242-466-6173.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. I'll bring you in on what that discussion is in a moment. But let's just kind of go back, you all, to just the loss of that prison officer. I understand that he had just recently graduated into the system and unfortunately lost his life. Of course, that was last week. Welcome back, the Hot Topics panelists, Leslie Miller, Garth Roseborough, Howard Johnson. Just unfortunate that we see that, you know, even in terms of going out and socializing, people can't seem to properly do that and just enjoy themselves and then wish each other a good night and go home. It always, almost always, has to end up in a fight or some sort of disagreement that ends quite ugly, as this one did. Your thoughts on this loss?
Yeah, it
First,
definitely.
because I know the family personally. In fact, me and this young man's mother went to high school together. He was an Lutheran native from Lower Bogey Lutheran. I went to high school with his mother, and the pain that this family is going through, I know lots of people in the family, not just the mother, the pain that this family is going through. And that mother tonight, I want to say condolences to that family personally. I did it on Facebook. His mother is struggling, Shanique, as you can imagine.
Oh, of course.
And she has been on Facebook several times just as an outlet for her grief, you know, and it's so sad and it's so heartbreaking. And Shanique, I want to say to everybody in the Bahamas, you know, we look at various places when things like this happen to affix blame. You know, we go everywhere from the government and politicians, and we blame parents, and we blame the schools, and we blame this, and we blame that. Shanique, in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, it is very concerning that the social and the moral fabric of our society continues to erode.
Yes.
That's right.
We are an angry people.
Yep.
We
Yes.
are very
Unnecessarily
angry.
so,
We
yes.
are very violent, and this is why I am so incensed at what I see on social media on a daily basis, because it spills over into reality.
It does.
And Shanique, we just need
That
to
little
accept
fake
personal
world,
responsibility.
Howard, they don't understand
Yes.
in that little fake made-up world that it has real consequences.
And we all have to accept responsibility for living our lives in a certain way to make it better in our country. We have to respect each other. We have to love each other. We have to look out for each other in this Commonwealth of the Bahamas, Shanique, because things are getting very, very, very bad, and it's sad when things like this happen.
Yeah, I'm very saddened tonight. It just brought back memories of even my youth, growing up in the southern part of New Providence, where I lost many friends in my teenage years. And I can only imagine how that has ricocheted and shocked an entire community. And the family must be terribly distraught. And I'm feeling that pain. I'm praying for the strength of peace, and that being a man of faith, that God would find a way to bring comfort to this family at such a time of tragedy. But the lesson for the other young people that are witnessing this, you have to find that inner strength, to find spiritual strength, learn how to choose friends, learn where to go, what time of day to visit such places. But more importantly, Shanique Miller, my colleagues, the Bahamas, and those watching abroad, having faith in spiritual force. And for me, it is God. It kind of directs your path. And for those people who have not yet found that path, I invite you to find that tonight, because it's good to have fun, it's good to celebrate, but it's nothing like when the evil one wants to snuff your young life away from you because of your potential. And what we just saw just now was great potential snuffed out. And for the family, I just want to embrace you at this time, and anything that we can do, I will reach out where I can, and I will also assist Shanique Miller.
You know, first and foremost, I'd like to express my deepest sympathy to the family of that young man who was butchered last week. You know, only those of us who would have lost a loved one can really express the feeling that one gives, you know. My son was butchered 23 years ago now, and only went to court once. That's why I see the people, when they take your family life, you know what happened. You take one of theirs. It's the law of the jungle now. There was this young man in this club, just graduated from the Royal Bahamas Defense Force. I don't know why he's so 3 o'clock in the morning.
Rational
You know, there's no love in this town. You are absolutely right. There's so much hatred among ourselves, but I always say, you know, a human being got to think wrong before they do wrong. Remember that. It emanates in the mind.
Yes.
And the guy his intention was to take the man's life. Now, what is going to happen to him? So they pick him up. He goes up Foxhill. He comes on trial. It's going to take about 10 years. It's been 22 for my son, and we still only been to court once. Case still open. So people understand that really the system don't really give a damn. Let's be frank with that. Okay? And unless we bring back capital punishment in this country.
Enforce it. It
that
ain't,
when
it ain't
you
going
take
nowhere.
a life,
It ain't going nowhere.
okay, then under those circumstances, you all will be taken. Nothing is going to happen. I don't give a damn what the politicians say. I don't care what the pastors say, the preacher, and everybody else. If you take a life, the Bible says, you all should be taken. Unless we get the guts to step to the plate and do it, we only put spinning wheels. This got heavy press. By next week, it'll be somebody else by the weekend. It goes on. The carnage never stops because we don't have the guts to do the right thing. We wait on the 12 old damn 80 plus men in London to decide our future. Slaves. That's where they look at us, are still slaves. They beg us, they say, listen, why do you come to us? Go to the Caribbean Court of Justice, where you have men of color like yourself and women. Let them make the decision. We pay $250,000 a year to the Caribbean Court of Justice and refuse to go to the court. Why? Because nobody want to do nothing right. That's why the country in the hell it in. Nobody got the guts to do it. Nobody want to pull the trigger. So what the young guys going to do? They're going to keep killing, because when he killed that guy, he's still taking a shower tonight. Y'all didn't get it yet? That's the system. All right?
For us,
In the words of the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, fix this little system that's limping along. He mean the Bahamas judiciary.
Grow some cojones.
The Bahamas judiciary
Grow some cojones, man.
is certainly, it perhaps mirrors what
Do the right thing.
my first guest talk about. Gentlemen, I am going to shift gears because Justin has told me that I have to wrap up shortly. So I'm going to shift gears, and I want you. Someone here mentioned social media, different energy. So if we can just shift quickly to that. Again, our thoughts and prayers are with that family. But have you all been watching Rick Fox? I don't know where he appeared from, what's happening. I reached out to him for an interview. He wanted to meet so we can, I guess, discuss the interview, but let's discuss it here. But Rick Fox, former Los Angeles Laker and the rest of it, I guess sometime Bahamian. Rick Fox is back in the Bahamas. He's very vocal and visible on Facebook. He did a little Facebook commercial and skit with Sawyer Boy.
Yes.
But Rick Fox is very much outspoken, and Bahamians are watching and paying attention. Who's a regular brother? So listen, this person says, Shanique, have you ever heard or seen a Rick Fox summer basketball camp? When he was active, all of a sudden, he knows the everyday life of the normal Bahamian. And so people are asking questions because Rick Fox has very harsh words for today's politicians. Bahamian politicians. Have you all been paying attention to his posts?
Yes.
What is it? What are some of it? How about go? You jump right in. What's some of it saying? And quite frankly, does Rick Fox qualify?
Well, Rick is basically talking about what he sees as some of the issues that are going on in the country. Political, definitely, mostly talking about political stuff and what we can do to right size some of these issues and to fix the Bahamas. I find it very commendable. I think Rick speaks in a plain speaking manner that any Bahamian can understand, the regular folks and those that are in the elites can understand. And he's making a lot of sense, in my opinion. Now, a lot of people are questioning Rick Fox's motives and looking at him as an elite who is looking for something else. You know, being intellectually lazy, you know, Bahamians some of us are just gonna throw things out because we just want to be negative about things, right? But Rick Fox does qualify. He qualifies because
he qualify?
He's a Bahamian. He has
Bahamian passport. Howard, it's like many of these politicians. He is right in one sense, Howard. Like many of these people offering themselves, they qualify to run because they're Bahamian, but you just can't wake up today and decide you are going to go contest a seat in Golden Isles or anywhere else. Because what has Rick Fox done to show and prove that he is worthy of comment and opinion throughout the years right now?
Well, I can tell you freedom of speech in the Constitution of the Bahamas.
Anybody could talk on speech. It's like an opinion is like a...
Rick Fox can have an opinion. Rick Fox has been a professional. Rick Fox has been a professional basketball player and a professional actor. And those roles have kept him overseas for many years in his adult life.
And how
he's returned home. Listen, Shanique, Rick Fox straight in the United States.
He just got a citizenship.
He's straight in Canada. And he's straight in the Bahamas. Rick Fox could have gone to those stayed in those other two countries, you know.
He's a
Rick
Canadian.
Fox could have gone to those other two countries, but
He
he
did not
decided to
represent
come
us at the
home to the
games.
Bahamas.
Rick Fox has not been a Bahamian for many decades. Garth,
What do you mean
jump
he has
in.
not been a Bahamian?
He has a
Bahamian passport. You can't rest down Bahamian and pick Bahamian.
You could rest it down and pick it up. You could rest it. Many people have rested down and picked it up.
Well, not Rick. Well, Rick Fox didn't do that.
I want to know. I want Rick Fox to come and join me right here because I've extended the invitation. Rick, I need you here because I want to know if you are Howard. Thank you, Howard. Thank you, Howard. One host right here. Just the host in the blue. I want to know, Rick. Let's talk. Let's talk sense. Who you running for?
Yeah, go, God.
Who you interested in?
You can't say
and who has approached you? And what's happening? What's your agenda? Howard, you speak one more time. Just one more word. Just one more word, Howard. Go ahead, God.
Oh Lord, this got to be Friday, folks, on Beyond the Headlines. This is what we do on Fridays.
Rick Fox never said he's running for anything.
Rick Fox saying something though. I understand he's interested, but that's okay, Howard. It's okay. Shh. I can let you know after the show. Go ahead, Garth.
Yeah, this is our by-election energy. That's all this is, right? This got to be by-election.
Yes.
But listen, he showed with Sawyer that he does have a Bahamian driver's license. He has a Bahamian passport. He has an NIB card.
Voter's card too, and a voter's card.
And he got the voter's card.
I could bring 10 Haitians in here right now to tell you that.
But here's my issue.
Tell it if I can bring it here right.
I went to high school here, graduated from St. Augustine's College, graduated from R.M. Bailey, went off to school 4.5 years in Jamaica, went off 3 years in Michigan.
What are you talking about?
Me, and then I came home.
You never left the Bahamas.
And then I came home, right?
Who are you talking about?
And Leslie, you got to follow what I'm saying, because Rick Fox went abroad, did he not? So when you go
you visit at least once a year. Stop.
No, but I'm saying you go off to school, you come back, right, and you think you know everything, like we're speaking about in terms of fixing the nation,
yes, sir,
fixing the church, fixing the community, fixing people's lives. And the first lesson I learned when I went to South Andros is that once you leave the Bahamas for a considerable amount of time, don't care if you're born there, grew up with these people, but you go off with yourself and you say all of a sudden I'm going to live in America, where Bahamians believe you think you better than us now because you've been away to Canada, you've been away to America, you've been away to London, and you come back and you want to tell us what to do.
Yeah.
My friend, they can tell you carry your backside back where you come from. So now Rick Fox now is Mr. Celebrity. And Mr. Celebrity believes that I can now come back and tell everyone what to do and how to fix it.
Get in line. Get in line.
The culture is going to be tough on him.
Yeah, we have enough thoughts and opinions around here. Even if Rick had come from Los Angeles to be a part of my Hot Topics panel anywhere through Zoom, he would have been
we get people who room in the Bahamas and he ain't trying to come up with any solutions.
Now, Howard, it's a difference between Rick and Tyrone. You heard that, Howard? There is a difference between Rick Fox and Tyrone.
Who's Tyrone?
That's the average Bahamian who ain't into that.
Oh.
Go, Leslie, jump in real quick, please.
Well, I forget what I was to say. You know, I have known Rick Fox all of his life. His father, Rick Fox, was a good friend of mine. In fact, all of us formed the Bahamas Light Industries Development Council back in 1983 to acclimatize Bahamians to the worthiness in buying Bahamian-made products. He's been away for a long time. He should have assisted us in the Olympic Games a few years ago, but he was a Canadian citizen at the time. He's now transformed himself to a Bahamian. I don't know when he's going to go into politics. People ain't going to vote for him just because he's Rick Fox. Right. Got to have a record of doing things in the country. But so now that he's here, he has an opportunity to show what he's all about, that he loves really the young people in the country, to have clinics and what have you, and try to assist as best he can, and maybe he'd be considered for some position. Remember now, unlike Sabas grew up here, spent all his life here and gives back to the community in a very tangible way. So there's a whole different set of parameters with him versus the good brother who's out there campaigning as we speak tonight.
Shanique, Golden Isles, do things. He said, just say do things. He got to do things. Just do things.
I just spent the night at Golden Isles.
Do things.
You know,
right, Shanique?
Just make it make sense.
The leader of the opposition is my cousin, right? You know, we went there tonight and he met us there. And the guy didn't want to speak to me.
Leslie, why would Michael Pintock speak to you?
Why would he not speak to me?
Leslie,
ain't nobody hug me.
You have been unkind.
Minister would have hugged me.
Leslie, you have been
I didn't appreciate that.
Leslie, you have
Leslie
been
won't hug.
unkind.
The blood that flowed through him
Nobody
flowed
is
through
having
me.
hotcakes in this country, but we're wrong with you.
Come on, hug, man. What's wrong
Leslie,
with
you have been unkind to Michael Pintock on the show.
I have not been. That's my family.
We're not
He's from Ragged Island, just like me.
Say
The
something
law
nice.
guard.
Say something nice as we wrap up to Pintock.
Good night, cuz.
I thank you all so much for tuning in this evening. For my entire, listen, from the president of the Nurses Union to my panelists, they don't know how to behave, eh? And of course, to all of you watching this evening, thank you so much for tuning in. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.
And leave the nurses alone.